Yeah, today we want to talk about food groups, different types of food groups. Remember, living things, they need food. Living things, they need what? They need food to grow and to stay healthy. That is why we buy food, we eat food each and every day. We need food. So, all living things, they need energy, right? To carry out all these purposes. Living things, they need energy to feed, to breathe, to move, to grow, to excrete, to sense things, and to reproduce. Right? Whether they are people or animals, right? They get their energy from the food they eat. And everything you eat, it actually contains nutrients. Everything that you eat, it contains nutrients. And nutrients are the substances in the food that keep your body healthy. So what you're saying is like those nutrients that we found in food, they keep your body healthy. So foods, they can be grouped according to their functions in the body and the main nutrients that they actually supply. So we want to talk about these food groups. We eat food, right? But sometimes we don't even know what group is this food in, what nutrients am I actually benefiting from the food that I'm actually eating, right? So we've got carbohydrates, we've got proteins, we've got fats and oils. We've got fats and oils, and we've got vitamins and minerals, right? So remember what we said? We said nutrients. These are the important parts of food needed by the body for energy and good health. We need nutrients for energy and good health. So diet, I'm sure we talk of diet. Yeah, this person is dieting, they are having a balanced diet. Diet, basically, these are the different foods a person or animal eat every day. So that's what we call what? Diet. And then let's now focus on carbohydrates. Like we mentioned, our groups said that there is carbohydrates, there is vitamins, there is proteins, there is fats and oils. So we want to speak about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, they give living organisms energy. Carbohydrates, they are used by the body to keep it warm. We use carbohydrates to keep our body warm and to provide all the energy that is actually needed for growth and movement. So basically, that is the function of what? Of carbohydrates. They are needed to give us energy that we need for growth and for all the movement that we might need. So without carbohydrates, carbohydrates, they are so important. If you're not giving your body carbohydrates, you cannot grow, you cannot move. So if you're not taking too much carbohydrates, you'll be tired to walk, to run, or to dance, or to even think, because it's the one that causes all the movement. And then, where do we get carbohydrates from? People they might want to ask. Carbohydrates, we get them from starch and sugar. These are the two main carbohydrates that we eat: starch and sugar. So we find sugar in fruits and in products such as jam, chocolates, cool drinks. Sugar, it gives our body quick energy. So we do not need to eat lots of sugar foods, right? Again, we are saying, of course, it gives us energy, quick energy, but then we do not need to eat lots of sugar food, right? Because again, sugar foods, they do not have all the important nutrients in them that our bodies need. So of course they give us energy, but then we don't have to eat them much, right? And then we find stuff in food such as maize meal. When we're eating papa, we're getting like starch. Things like potatoes, yeah, potatoes, they're good carbohydrates content. Rice and also some fruits. So starch, it gives you, energy more. slowly. So the energy it lasts longer than that of sugar. So starch is the most common form of carbohydrate. Around 60% of our food come from what? Carbohydrates. So you have to know things like apples, things like potatoes, rice, they give us what? Carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, they are very, very important. And starch is a carbohydrate that plants store in their what? In their seeds. Remember the last topic that we've been talking about, that of plants making their own food. We said plants, they make starch, right? We even tested like starch using iodine solution, right? So basically, that's what carbohydrates actually contribute to our body, right? And then we want to talk about proteins, the importance of proteins, right? Living organisms, again, they need proteins. We need proteins in our body. Why? Because they build and they repair bodies, and they also need it for growth. Proteins, they build, if there is some damages in the body, proteins, they help to fight sickness. They help to fight what? Sickness. If you think of sickness, if you're eating more of proteins, even if you're taking like pills and eating proteins, that your rate of recovery is gonna be high. Yeah, it's going to be high. You see? And again, we are saying proteins, it also help your immune system fight off infection. There are different infections that can actually get into our body. You see, because of changes in weather, because of changes in environment, there are different infections that can actually affect us. So we need proteins to help us build more fighters in our body, more antibodies, so that they can fight, boost our system, So we are saying your immune system, it protects your body from what? From sickness, and it helps you get better if you feel sick. So proteins also make up part of the red blood cells, right? Yeah, that process of protein synthesis when we are in natural science or in biology, right? Which are responsible for carrying out oxygen from the lungs to the rest of your body. The red blood cells, they're responsible for carrying oxygen from the heart to the rest of your body, right? And then the nutrients in the protein also help children grow. Children, they're expected to do. Once a child is born, is expected to grow. So these proteins, they also help children to grow. And then we are saying again, muscles, and organs are mostly made up of proteins. In fact, proteins is the part of everything in our bodies. Right now, if I'm sitting here, my body is making proteins. You see, so proteins, they are the most important. They are part of DNA. You see, and we're saying in our bodies, our hair, our bones, our skin, our nails, it is important to get protein from a variety of foods, right? So foods like meat, fish, eggs, nuts, beans, all these foods, they contain what? Proteins. That is why, you're expected to eat meat, proteins, beans, and eating the right amount of protein is important to help repair, especially tissues, any tissues that are damaged through normal use over the years. So, the repair, the meaning of repair. So that's what tissues. And protein gives the body strength, and it's very important for muscle growth. Protein, again, is very, very important for muscle growth. Right, so basically that's proteins.